Here at Daily World Television, we make a point to interview real movers and shakers, people who are making a genuine difference in this world. Dr. Raj Singh is one such individual. He is a Vice Chancellor at Rayat Bahra University here in India. They have 7 campuses across northern India, and they have 2 affiliate campuses in the United States of America. Dr. Singh was generous enough to stop by Daily World headquarters here in Chandigarh and gave us this exclusive interview. How do you guarantee the quality of the education you offer in a competitive environment compared to foreign campuses or foreign universities?
It's a very pertinent question. Today in the country, everyone has been talking about the employability of graduates, particularly in professional education. But one thing is very clear, that if you're to remain competitive in this environment, which is more and more globalized, thanks to the availability of information and the knowledge part, without really teacher being present there. When I'm saying this, I'm talking about the digital world, I'm talking about the virtual world, where the information and knowledge can be acquired. I think the focus of universities will have to shift on skills and attitudes. This has been also highlighted post-economic recession of 2008. The equations have changed, the meaning of education has changed, the meaning of character and ethics have changed. So when I highlight these points, I emphasize that the education being provided by the universities in India has to incorporate these features. If I have to summarize, as we move forward to remain competitive, we have to provide education which is interdisciplinary. It cannot be standalone. Number 2, it has to be practice oriented. The students should be able to apply whatever they learn. Without that, it is meaningless. And 3, the students or the graduates have to have global orientation, because no business is domestic business. Every business is global business. And this can be done only by bringing together different disciplines. And this can help, be possible only in case of a multidisciplinary environment like a university campus. My own take would be that as we move into the future, stand-alone institutions will become less and less relevant, and multidisciplinary campus will not only survive but thrive. If you look at the top class institutions, no matter which area you talk about, engineering or management or for that matter the discipline, these institutions are not standalone institutions, they are university departments. Just look around the globe. So why in India we started the concept of affiliated colleges? Perhaps that was the need, we wanted access, but we made them a single discipline. And that's one reason why the quality of graduates in India has not been as good as should be. My simple argument would be that human beings are multidisciplinary. Why should education be single disciplinary? So on top priority, I'll rate interdisciplinary education is what we have been able to implement, and that is what distinguishes us from the crowd. And as we move to the future, this flexibility, this interdisciplinarity will only increase. It has multiple advantages. Apart from the fact that it brings students more closer to real life, it also makes us to differentiate our offerings of the programs. Because once you bring in flexibility, the student chooses, and university starts delivering a demand-based program rather than a supply-based program. So I think these 3 key areas, I'll repeat, interdisciplinary education, practical education which can be applied into the industry or the client organizations, and global orientation with character building of the students will be the key features.
And your university delivers all 3 of these?
We have taken lead in most of these areas. In fact, in most of the areas, we are the only one who are doing it.
Every organization has a vision. What is the vision of Rayat Bahra University?
Well, I'll not keep it technical, but what I understand as the vision of this institution is to make Rayat Bahra Group and Rayat Bahra University as the most preferred destination for students, the researchers, the academic administrators, and the scholars.
How and when was Rayat Bahra University founded?
Rayat Bahra group of institutions started its journey in 2001 from a campus in Roped, and the main objective of the organization was to serve the state of Punjab in areas where there was lack of education and the economic development would have been ensured through a proper education in those areas. In last 15 years, starting with about 200 students, we have grown both in terms of geographical location and also the variety of programs being offered in different disciplines. Currently, we have about 35,000 students. The journey we start from 200 has now culminated into 35,000 located in 7 campuses and 2 universities. And the vision with which we started, which was mainly to serve the need of state of Punjab, is perhaps now serving the need of the country at large. We have also been able to globalize because education is no more oriented only towards the local needs, but also to the global economy. And we have students from about a dozen countries now in our campus.
What obstacles did you meet on this journey?
Well, in education, when you start a new institution, any enterprise for that matter has a lot of difficulties faced. In education in India, there have been hurdles mainly in terms of regulatory framework, in terms of paying capacity of the people, in terms of regulating the fees and admissions in the institutions. But I think in 2014, when we became a university, we enjoyed relatively higher autonomy. Autonomy in terms of designing new programs, starting new colleges, and also offering a variety of options to students in terms of flexibility, which is not possible when our institutions are affiliated to a different university. Getting the flexibility and variety of options becomes very, very difficult. Other difficulties are normally in terms of financial difficulties, which you overcome with the banking system being liberalized in the country, the bank loan for the students for education being liberalized in recent past, and we as a university had very liberal scholarship schemes that no student is left out, no meritorious student is left out because of the financial difficulties. So in the time of need, we had the banking system coming to our rescue. We had media playing a very positive role to put forth the positives of private education. As you may be aware that in India, today about 61% of the enrollments in education are accounted for by the private sector. It's already taken lead, and in future this percentage is only going to go up. And in recent past, you have seen the hurdles are becoming lesser and lesser. The regulatory environment is becoming more enabling, where we can offer quality education to move towards the global standards. You must have seen the last couple of days the Times ranking of universities. 31 Indian universities have found a place compared to very few in the past. So the initiatives of the government which made the educational environment more enabling are bearing the fruits. And I believe that the difficulties will be lesser and lesser as we go along.
Harvard is known for management, MIT for engineering, Stanford for medicine. What is Rayat Bahra known for?
Well, Rayat Bahra group is about 15 years old, and Rayat Bahra University is 2 years old. The institutions you named, whether it's Harvard or MIT or for that matter other leading institutions, have become to be known into management or engineering over decades and centuries. It may not be fair for me to say that what we are known for as on today, but I can certainly tell you what we want to be known as we evolve as an institution or as a university. We want to be known for an institution which provides the most relevant engineering education. Number 2, we want to excel into the areas of management, providing sectoral specializations which have not been thought of by the institutions in this country. So while these two are traditionally most demanded disciplines, they have also been the predominant disciplines in Rayat Bahra Group, and as we move into the future, we want to be known for offering education in these two areas, apart from our other specializations like medical and healthcare, law and other things. Every institution has some flagship programs, and then to bring the diversity and interdisciplinarity, we have to be in multiple disciplines. But yes, engineering and management, what we want to be known as.
In a nutshell, what would your message be for Indians and students across the nation?
That the equations of business and industry have changed in last 7 to 8 years. There will be a greater scrutiny of our actions in terms of governance and ethical issues. So I'm laying emphasis on character building, which somehow has been left out in the education. It has to become an integral part, and students have to partake in that movement of character building and bringing in more ethics and governance into the industry or any other organization for that matter. So ethics will be the message for students, apart from hard work and getting the skill-based education rather than only knowledge-based education. Traditionally in India, education has remained divorced from the industry. They have not been working together, unlike in the Europe or the Western world. There are many concepts of industry which can be effectively used in education, but somehow have been hated for. One concept would be, let's say, supply chain management is a great concept which industry has benefited from in the last 20 years or so. Traditionally, education has been the job of a redistributor of knowledge. Somebody generated knowledge, teachers redistributed to the audience. Now that redistribution role has been taken away by the democracy of availability of information. Thanks to the internet and other mediums of getting the information and knowledge, it has been rendered ineffective or irrelevant. So in a new role, teachers have to become the originators of knowledge themselves rather than being in the redistributor's role. That has been a major shift.
Go ahead.
Yeah. The few other areas could be that the higher education in particular needs a lot of reforms in evaluation system. Let me present a situation here. It happened with me in one of my institutions. There's a student who brings me an excellent concept, a researched concept on how to make a 3D printer. And another student group which brings me an actual 3D printer which is functioning. And I was surprised to see that the students who made a functional 3D printer were having average grade point compared to the student who brought a project report nicely researched and a great concept of how to make 3D printer. When I say assessment or evaluation reforms are required or examination reforms are required, I mean to say that a variety of components have to be used in the evaluation of performance of students rather than only the written examination or the paper-based kind of evaluation. If I were to assess the students, I'll give A+ to the one who made a printer rather than who gave a concept of a printer. So that's another area of improvement that higher education has to undertake on an urgent basis. I've already spoken about the flexible systems. Thanks to the enabling environment created by University Grants Commission, which has made choice-based credit system as mandatory for all the universities, there's a different issue that many universities, particularly in public sector, have not been able to implement from 2015, which was the year indicated. But at least they're trying to implement the system. And once we do that, we will be at par with the global education system, which is required, particularly after India became signatory to the Washington Accord. We have to converge towards the global systems, otherwise we will be left behind. So it's a very challenging kind of environment we are likely to face in the future, but I'm also confident with the kind of resources we have, a human resource we have in India, particularly among the youth, it should not be a difficult task.